Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be going over and talking about the Orioles and Blue Jays series finale of this four-game series. It was a lot of baseball over these past 2 days. Obviously, 4 games in the past 3 days with a doubleheader yesterday. And after yesterday's doubleheader, the Orioles already won this series. They were already winning this series 3-0. Means that they took the series no matter what happened today, and unfortunately the Orioles winning streak does come to an end. It does stop at 5 games, and the Orioles lose today's game 9-8 in a very back and forth, close, intense, very good game. On both sides, the Orioles played a really good game. They showed a lot of heart. They showed a lot of fight in this game as well. Unfortunately, Yennier Cano just gave up a lot of runs near the end of the game, and the Orioles almost came back, but it just was not enough, unfortunately. But overall, it was a good game for the Orioles. Players played good. The offense did its thing. They played fine. The pitching, for the most part, the starting pitching was okay, but the bullpen really gave this game up. Really just Yennier Cano, to be honest with you. But that's what's going to happen when a lot of your bullpen is now gone via trade, like Gregory Soto and Anthony Dominguez, and obviously with the Felix Bautista injury, which is looking like it's going to be a lot more serious than we thought. Which could just result in him sitting the rest of the season. I don't think it's going to be any Tommy John or something that's going to affect him next season, but with the Orioles and obviously the trade deadline and everything like that and just where they are, I think Felix sitting out this year is the right thing, and just gearing up for 2026 is the main focus. Now, it is Wednesday afternoon, around 9 p.m. right now. So there is less than 24 hours until the trade deadline. We actually have about 20 hours from now until the trade deadline. Obviously, the deadline is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we do have a little less than 24 hours until the deadline, and the Orioles, other than the Anthony Dominguez and the Gregory Soto moves for the bullpen, nothing has happened as of yet today. Something could happen while I'm filming this episode. Something could happen, later tonight in a couple of hours. Who knows? Baseball trades are obviously very, very weird, and the timing of it's just very out of nowhere. But as of right now, as of recording this episode, there's been nothing going on. I wanted to wait until the end of today before I recorded, just to see if anything happened that I could talk about it today. But I think I'm just going to record the episode now. I'm just going to get this out now because I just don't know if anything's going to happen tonight. I think a lot of teams are gearing up for tomorrow. And it's not even just the Orioles that haven't really been doing anything that are supposed to. There's a lot of teams, guys like Eugenio Suarez and players like that, Dylan Cease, players who are expected to get traded are not getting traded right now. And I just don't think that it's going to happen today. There's a lot of teams that have a day off tomorrow, so I think that's when trades are really going to start facilitating, just in tomorrow morning, leading into the afternoon, and then obviously leading up until the trade deadline. So tomorrow is going to be a very hectic day, I'm sure. Today was a little bit active. There was the Ryan Helsey trade to the Mets. There was the Johan Duran trade to the Phillies. Those are 2 big trades that happened. But other than that, nothing too crazy happening today in terms of the trade deadline. Also, Tyler Rogers going to the Mets as well, boosting up their bullpen. So, really nothing too crazy has happened today. I think tomorrow's, again, going to be the day where a lot of things happen. And obviously, the Orioles have a lot of decisions to make, and they're going to be very busy. Guys like Ryan O'Hearn and Cedric Mullins, from just the way that the Orioles media was, based on the responses after the game today, and also based on what Kevin Brown was saying on the broadcasting booth, it really just seemed like today was Ryan O'Hearn and Cedric Mullins' last game as an Oriole, which is really sad. Both of them got big standing ovations near their last at-bats. Cedric Mullins had an incredible home run robbery. He also had a couple hits, and then Ryan O'Hearn also had a 2-run homer in this game as well. So both of them going out with a bang in this game. Unfortunately, we could not get the win, but Cedric Mullins' entire homestand has been playing incredible. We'll talk more about that in a second when we go over the game. But from the way that the media was, from the way that the responses were, it really just did feel like it was their last moments as an Oriole. And it really kind of just felt like this was it. And obviously it's a little expected. We knew that this was going to happen. And it's not necessarily like a crazy weird thing that it's taking so long, because this happens, with all other teams. There's a lot of teams that, wait until the last day to do things. I remember last year when the Orioles traded for Trevor Rogers and Zach Eflin, it was both on the last day. So again, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. The Orioles have some decisions to make, not even with just Ryan O'Hearn and Cedric Mullins, also with guys like Charlie Morton, guys like Andrew Kittredge, and Ramon Laureano. I do not think Laureano is going to get traded. I really do think that we're going to end up keeping him and then picking up his option for next year to be an everyday player next year because he has been so incredible this year. But one thing that I do want to go over right now, actually, is an update to the Isaiah Likely injury for the Ravens in Ravens training camp. As you know, yesterday, Isaiah Likely rolled his ankle on the last rep of practice, and he got carted off. And then reports were saying that, John Harbaugh was saying that it was going to be, a few weeks until he comes back. And obviously the whole carted off situation was really blown out of proportion because, again, the facility is very far away from the field, and that's why they had to walk. So it wasn't anything, at the time yesterday seemed to be anything too crazy. And we did get the report. The MRI did come back, and we do know the official injury now that we're going to go over in just 1 second. But talking about this Isaiah Likely injury, as I was just saying, Isaiah Likely did roll his ankle yesterday, going to be out for a few weeks. They did the MRI today, and the official report on this now is that he will have surgery this week to fix a broken bone in his foot. The belief is that he's going to be about 6 weeks until he comes back, though it's dependent on the outcome. Could be fewer. While Likely could be ready for week 1, the best news is that it's not long term. And ultimately, this is very similar, in my opinion, to what happened with Mark Andrews 2 years ago, where he got hurt in that Bengals game, and then he ended up coming back for the AFC Championship game later on in the playoffs. But this injury is a small broken bone in his foot. This is considered to be a minor surgery. He will probably be out to around 4 to 6 weeks, but it could be 6 to 8 weeks depending on how he recovers, depends on how he heals. Again, everyone's body is different. Everyone will recover from different injuries the same, but the rough estimate is around 6 weeks, which the best news about this entire thing is that at least this happened at the beginning of training camp instead of later on in training camp for him to miss multiple games. He might not be playing week 1, but by week 2 or 3, he should be back in business and should be ready to go. But week 1, his status is in jeopardy for sure with this surgery. We'll see how he recovers. Hopefully this is something that's not going to affect him the entire year. Hopefully, we'll see Isaiah Likely play like we always see him play. But he might have a little bit of a slower start to the year. Even if he does come back early, he might not be still at full 100% strength. But with this injury happening early on in early on in training camp, this is the best time that it could have happened because obviously you don't want to see this happen at all. But this was the best time that this could have happened because he's pretty much going to be out obviously all of training camp, but as long as he's back for the season and early on in the season, things will be good to go. They're saying sometime early to maybe mid-September, so that is good news that it's not going to be that long and that it's also not like season ending, which was the main concern when we saw the report yesterday. But I think we can all take a step back, breathe. Everything's going to be good with Isaiah Likely. We're still going to have him. And this also opens up an opportunity for Mark Andrews to have a revenge game in week 1 against the Bills, obviously with what happened last year, with the drop, with the fumble, with everything like that. He has a chance to really play a big role in that game. And even if Isaiah Likely plays, I think Andrews is still going to have a big role because even if Likely does play week 1, he's probably going to be in a limited capacity, so we'll see what happens with that. But I think Ravens fans can just take a step back, breathe, know that Isaiah Likely is going to be good for this season, and it's a big sigh of relief for Ravens fans around the world. But another thing that did occur today in training camp was that Zay Flowers was not present. Zay Flowers is on an injury right now. John Harbaugh said it's going to be a few days. It was something with his ankle or his knee, something with his lower leg. John Harbaugh said that he was going to be out for a few days, so not going to be anything too serious. Hopefully this doesn't boil over and develop into a serious injury because we already have this Isaiah Likely injury that we're worried about, and if Zay Flowers gets hurt as well, who's obviously the wide receiver 1 on this team, it's going to be very, very not looking good for the Ravens heading into the season. So hopefully this Zay Flowers injury is what they say it is and not too bad, and we can move on, chill out, and play some good football by the time the season starts. But going over this Orioles and Blue Jays game, again, the Orioles lose this game 8-9 to the Toronto Blue Jays. The Orioles record sits at 50-59. They are 9 games below 500. The Blue Jays get a big win to avoid getting swept, and the Orioles had their chances in this game really to win, but they just kind of got blown late in the 7th inning especially. But going over the offense in this game put up 10 total hits, went 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position, left 6 guys on base. So overall, the offense played fine. When you score 8 runs, I'm not going to be mad at that at all. But Jackson Holliday in this game was leading off. He went 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. Jordan Westberg had an incredible day. He went 2 for 5, 2 runs scored, and a 2-run home run as well for Jordan Westberg. He continues to produce, and he continues to show why he's so valuable and why his bat is so valuable in this lineup moving forward as a part of this young core. Gunnar Henderson went 2 for 5 in this game with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Adley Rutschman went 0 for 4 but with 2 RBIs. They were both off of sacrifice flies. Ryan O'Hearn went 1 for 4 with, and then again, speaking of Ryan O'Hearn, this obviously is most likely going to be his last game as an Oriole, so the last time that we're going to be talking about him in an Orioles uniform. And he did go out with a bang, went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a home run. He had a 2-run home run in the first inning in this game. Ryan O'Hearn 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, a home run, also got on base from a walk. He continues to be hot. He continues to be the Ryan O'Hearn that we've seen all season long, somebody that can hit the ball well against righties, and somebody that can also play a good defensive first base, play a good defensive right field, and just overall be a great baseball player like we've seen this season. And again, if this is the end for Ryan O'Hearn, if we end up trading him, which we most likely will, again, thank you, Ryan O'Hearn, for everything. Shout out Ryan O'Hearn again. I know Baltimore does mean a lot to him because we kind of gave him really another chance in his career to be great and to be good, and obviously he was the Orioles' only All-Star representative at this All-Star game. He was the starting DH for the American League this year. So again, the only Orioles All-Star. Last year we had 5 All-Stars. This year none of them returned. A couple of them weren't even on our team anymore. Ryan O'Hearn representing the Orioles at the All-Star game, and he represented us well. Super proud of what Ryan O'Hearn has done here as an Oriole over the past couple of years. The way that he's transformed his career with what he's done this season. He's always been such a reliable player over the past few years as a part of this Orioles uprising and the part of the Orioles coming back into relevancy. Obviously, this season has not gone the way that we've all wanted to, but Ryan O'Hearn has been a big, bright spot over the past few years in his time in Baltimore. So shout out to Ryan O'Hearn again for just being great, for just being a great player and doing his thing this year. And then Colton Cowser in this game went 0 for 3 with an RBI. Cedric Mullins in his potential last game as an Oriole as well went 2 for 4 with also an incredible wall-climbing home run robbery out in right center. We've seen this so many times from Cedric Mullins. We've seen so many different incredible plays at center field, an incredible defensive center fielder, and honestly, one of the greatest center fielders in Orioles history. He's the longest tenured Oriole on this team. He was with this team back when Adam Jones was here. He was with this team through thick and thin. When this team was down in the dumps and winning 50 games a season, and he was also there whenever we won 101 games 2 years ago. So, not Gunner. Cedric Mullins has been through it all. He's seen everything within this Orioles organization. Again, he's the longest tenured Oriole on the team. Plays a great defensive center fielder. Unfortunately, he never won a Gold Glove at center field with Baltimore, but we know that deep down he did deserve to win one. He's an incredible defensive center fielder, an incredible player overall. He's the leading home run hitter for the Orioles this year with 15. And again, Cedric is really going to be someone that you're going to miss as an Orioles fan because he's just been here through it all. And he deserves to go out there and get his money next season. He also deserves to go out there and play, meaningful winning baseball, because whatever team trades for Cedric Mullins is going to be in playoff conversations and potentially World Series conversations, depends on where he goes. So, and he deserves to be playing that type of baseball. He deserves to be helping a team win a championship. Same thing with Ryan O'Hearn. The reason when players are like hot commodities in trade deadline season, it's because they deserve it. It's because they're playing good baseball at the time, and usually it's always contending teams that are going for players to boost their squad up even more. And Mullins and O'Hearn deserve to be playing winning baseball. They deserve to go out there and try and compete for a championship because they've played so well this year, and I'm super excited to see where they go. If we do trade them, I do think it's going to be tomorrow or even later today. That might have happened while we're recording. Who knows at this point? But thank you, Cedric Mullins, for everything. If this is it, he went out with a bang today with that home run, the home run robbery. It was actually incredible what he did. Could not believe it. But at the same time, I could, because we've seen this multiple times from Cedi. Dylan Carlson in this game went 0 for 3. Alex Jackson in this game went 1 for 3 with with a run scored. Alex Jackson, by the way, been very solid for the Orioles off the bench. And as the catcher over the past few weeks with Adley being gone, all 8 of his Orioles hits are extra base hits. So shout out to Alex Jackson for just doing well this year. But going over to the pitching in this game, Dean Kramer played solid. Got through 5 innings of work, gave up 6 hits, 2 walks, and 3 runs across 5 innings. Also had 5 strikeouts and 87 pitch count across 5 innings. Couldn't really pitch the innings to 6, but did his thing, did enough. Got through 5 innings, gave up 3 runs. That's a winnable game. And Grant Wolfram gave up a run, and then Yennier Cano, who got credited with the loss for very good reason. He's now 1-6 on the year as a reliever, which is crazy. But Yennier Cano got through .2 innings, gave up 4 hits, and 5 runs, and it was just and that's where the game completely turned on its head. The Orioles started off this game winning 3-0. Then the Blue Jays tied at 3-3. Then the Orioles went up 5-3, and then the Orioles were down 9-5. And then the Orioles ended up coming back, making it 9-8, and then just could not get over the hump and win the game. Cade Stroud did perfect, and Andrew Kittredge did perfect as well. Speaking as someone that could also get traded on this Orioles team is Andrew Kittredge, who's also receiving a lot of interest around the league. As a reliever, obviously the return for him is not going to be anywhere near as big as Cedric or Ryan O'Hearn, but Andrew Kittredge has been very solid this year for the Orioles, and somebody that could leave because he did only sign a 1-year contract this offseason with the Orioles. And tomorrow the Orioles do have a day off, but don't worry, there will be an episode tomorrow going over the Orioles and going over anything Ravens related as well. Tomorrow is the trade deadline. Tomorrow at 5 is the trade deadline, so sometime tomorrow night I'll probably have once the trade deadline's over tomorrow, sometime tomorrow night I'll have an episode up recapping anything and everything that the Orioles do tomorrow, because I do expect it to be quite a bit. If I had to make a prediction, I think that we're going to trade Cedric. I think that we're going to trade Ryan O'Hearn. I think that we're going to trade Charlie Morton. And I think that we're going to trade Andrew Kittredge. I think that we're going to make a flurry of trades tomorrow or even tonight as well. But I do think Mullins and O'Hearn are gone. I think those are the 2 most likely people to be gone just because they're receiving so much interest. And then I think Charlie Morton, we could get something out of him. And just overall, going into the post-trade deadline era with this team, in my opinion, you call up Dylan Beavers, you call up Samuel Basayo, you get them reps, you get them at-bats, you figure out what you want to do with this young core, along with Kobe Mayo getting at-bats, you kind of recalibrate the starting pitching, and you figure out what's going on going into 2026, and you move forward from there, because again, I'm still under the assumption that this team can go and compete in 2026 next year. This is a season that a lot of us are going to forget for very good reason, and I really just do see this as a road bump in this long potential Orioles core. Obviously, 2 years ago they won 101 games. Last year they won 91 games. This year they've won 50 games, and we're approaching August. So, again, very different seasons overall, but this is just a road bump in my opinion. They still have the young core. Everything's still going to be good. And hopefully Mike Elias doesn't do anything crazy and trade one of the young core players for something. And hopefully he's just smart. Hopefully Mike Elias is just smart and does the right thing. Obviously, when it comes to the trade deadline, when it comes to free agency, he doesn't really do the right thing a lot of the time. And for as much as a lot of Orioles fans do not want to trade guys like Ryan O'Hearn or Cedric Mullins because they love the player, as much as I do as well. Like, I love Cedric Mullins, I love Ryan O'Hearn. I know if we keep them on our roster, we have more of a chance of winning games. But in my opinion, I think at this point of the year, going into the trade deadline, we are officially now going into the trade deadline. We are 7.5 games out of a playoff spot, and we are 9 games below 500. And I just do not think that this Orioles team has... I think that they have the talent to make a push for the playoffs, but I just don't think that they have the pitching staff to do it, and they don't have the consistency from the pitching staff to do it. We've seen this offense recently over this homestand especially play excellent for the Orioles, but I just do not think that the starting pitching and the bullpen especially now, I just don't think that the pitching has enough
consistency to be able to go out there and win as many games as they would need to win. I trust this offense, and I hope that post-trade deadline this offense keeps performing well, but we have to be realistic at the end of the day. I just don't think that this pitching has the consistency to be able to win enough games as they need to and make the playoffs. I just don't see that as a possibility. While I do think the offense has the talent, I just don't think the pitching does. So I just think it would be a little irresponsible, actually a lot irresponsible, if Mike Elias decides to sit still and don't do anything over these next 20 hours. I just think it would be very irresponsible. I think that he has to go out and make a trade. He has to go out and make moves and focus on 2026, because that's what we need to do. And one of the trades that the Orioles did for Anthony Dominguez, the starting pitcher that we got in that deal, did excellent today in his outing in Single A. He did excellent. So he's somebody that, again, climbed up the Orioles farm system. I think he's our 8th ranked prospect. So, again, we see him very valuable. So at the end of the day, the Orioles just need to do its best for next season. At this point, it's over. I'm not saying that this team is just going to flat out go and lose all their games. I'm just saying that if we're not competing for a playoff spot, then there's no point of keeping these guys around, because we're not going to make the playoffs unless there's a literal, actual God-sent miracle that happens with this Orioles team where we win like 15 out of 17 games and the starting pitching is like excellent through those games. But there's just way too much that has to go right for the Orioles to even be in a spot to really contend for the playoffs. But again, we'll see what happens with the rest of the season. I do think O'Hearn and Mullins are gone. It's been real, it's been fun, and it's been real fun for those guys. But that's going to be it for this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow up on the Spotify. Make sure to like the video on YouTube as well. And if you want more content, make sure to follow the Instagram, where I post updates on every single time a video goes up. And then also make sure to follow the Twitter, where I'm posting live updates on anything, live trade deadline stuff, live updates on the Orioles, live updates on the Ravens, live reactions again to any sort of news. So make sure to give that the Twitter a follow. It's very fun over there. And again, thank you guys for all the support that you've shown me on this show. We are heading into the trade deadline tomorrow. We're heading into deep waters. This is the day that we've talked about for a really long time on this channel. We've talked about this a really long time on the show, how the trade deadline is approaching and the moves that the Orioles would need to make. They've already made 2 decent moves, giving out Gregory Soto to the Mets and Anthony Dominguez to the Blue Jays. And there's still some moves that need to be made as we head into 2026. And really, the big moves still have to be made as well. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll have a video up tomorrow talking all about the trade deadline regarding the Orioles, and also any sort of Ravens updates and news if there's that going on as well with training camp. Again, tomorrow, trade deadline updates, news, reactions to any sort of trades and news that happens. And then also any sort of Ravens updates from training camp we'll discuss as well. There is no Orioles game tomorrow. They're back at it again this weekend on a weekend series against the Cubs, and that series is like all day games. They all play at like noon. I have no idea why. So now I'll have episodes up somewhat early this weekend. But thank you guys for all the support again on the show. I'll see you guys in the video tomorrow. Hopefully, trade deadline season's crazy. We don't know what's going to happen. But if anything major happens, I'll come back on and make another episode later tonight if something like absolutely crazy happens, like an Adley Rutschman trade or something like that. But we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys in the next one. You have a great day. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see you later. Peace out.